my good people, to another exciting and riveting episode of Let's Talk. And here at Let's Talk, we like to talk about things that matter to you. Where we like to talk about things that matter to you. We try to come up with workable and practical solutions so we have more action and less talk. I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host,
Cheryl today.
Cheryl is just totally out of order today.
Yes.
She wants to watch herself go live, so
No.
sorry for that interruption, guys. I apologize for that. So, guys, join us. We'd like you to call us, 352-8255. We'd love to hear your voice and just conversate with us on this topic. Or just drop us a comment in the chat and we'll read your comment live.
Yes.
So, our topic today is, can a relationship survive infidelity? Guys, again, 352-8255. I know y'all got a lot to say on this, and we'll disguise your voice. We ain't calling no names. You safe. This is a safe space. Ain't nobody can recognize your voice. I sure won't. And I ain't gonna call your name like I say. So
Unless
you safe.
you post a message with your name on it online and we have to read it.
No, and we ain't gonna read your name still.
But the name show up on the screen.
That's all right. That's all right. They don't be interested. They have code names and stuff like that.
True too.
So like, share, and subscribe. We love your viewership. We love your comments. We love your feedback.
Yes.
You guys are the greatest. So again, the topic for today, can a relationship survive infidelity? Infidelity, that's a big word.
Oh,
That's
I
a
wanted to
big word.
clarify relationships. By relationships, we're strictly talking about marriage or committed relationships leading to marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
No little
Nothing else.
jokey.
Right.
And technically, if you ain't married, all y'all
But we're-
unfaithful.
Well,
But
we're keeping
for
it
the-
real because
for the
we know
sake of this
that,
conversation,
right?
Yes. Yeah. So committed relationships and marriages. No little jokey puppy love thing. No.
Right.
So infidelity. Cheryl, you being the educator amongst us, please enlighten us as to that word.
It's funny you're selective when I'm an educator. Many other times I try to educate you on things, but you're so selective. However, I'll yield to you, sir. This is when you're unfaithful, whether it's emotionally or physically, unfaithful to the partner that you have committed yourself to.
Okay. So emotionally,
Emotionally
Physically.
or physically, yes.
financially too?
No, we're not going to deal with that.
We ain't going that deep.
No.
We ain't going that deep.
Because for the sake of this conversation, no, let's just keep it a little close to the chest so that we can just speak to.
Because we could run.
We
run
could,
amok.
and there are certain aspects of that it's easier to come back to. But let's talk about the one that hits home the hardest, which is the physical unfaithfulness.
And that's I mean, that could be up for debate.
True, but we're not
Because
debating
some
it
people,
today, are we?
No, because some people could deal with a little physical because they know the heart isn't in it.
Little physical.
Yeah. It may be more, I heard it once, don't touch my money. You can touch anything else, don't touch my money. Because, some people they're really protective of it. But like you
That's
say,
what
we can
he's
try to
saying.
keep it to finances.
Right.
And if our viewers, our commenters do want to take it there, we will take it there.
Yes.
So, guys, let us know what you think. Do you think can your relationship
Yes.
survive infidelity? Now, we ain't going to say who can do it, who does it more, or who does it most. I'm sure
No, let's not.
Cheryl probably would want to point fingers.
I don't want to.
I won't. But
You won't, Jason?
I won't.
Okay, I
At the
appreciate
see
that
which one,
because
if
I
you all
braced
know me,
myself for that conversation.
I say there's no difference between men and women these days when it comes to
Yes,
the
I agree.
evil of a man's heart.
Yes.
I think they're on the both
All of us
same level.
humans are pretty
Yes.
much just racing, the same nonsense.
Yes. So I'm not going to do that pointing fingers tonight. And I hope
Right.
Cheryl doesn't, because if she does, then I will have to answer her in kind,
I'm ready for you.
like you always are, right? So infidelity.
Yes.
Why? First of all, why is it so hard for us to be faithful? Is it hard for us to be faithful?
I think it's well, it depends. I don't know if it's I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard if you have the right mentality towards marriage or towards a relationship. I don't think it's hard. People want to make it hard because people say I heard someone say this morning that options are awful. You know, but it's because of options. And I literally said that. We were having this conversation, and I think we were talking about in the book of Revelations and even the fact that God gave us choices. And the conversation was, why did God have to give us choices? He's God. He could just make us just do whatever he wants us to do.
True.
And we're happy for choices, but choices are what causes us.
But you know, in order for love to be real, it has to be free.
That's
It has to
absolutely
be free.
true.
Because if you don't have no choice, then it isn't love.
Right. That's
so
true
so
too.
that's why
Or-
he doesn't
or
give
it's
us,
not-
that's why he gave us choices.
And it's not obedience.
Right.
If you have no choice.
Right.
Yeah, it's not
just
obedience
robots,
either.
mindless robots, and he doesn't
Right.
want that. And we don't want that. We don't want anybody to be with us compulsion or the compulsion.
Right.
We want whoever our partner is to love us freely. We don't
Right.
want to hold them by the gun. We don't want threats, or we don't want them to feel that. We don't want their love by force or threats. That's what makes love real.
Right.
And I guess that's what makes it hurt even more when they choose to give that love to somebody else.
I think so, yes.
You know, because it's supposed to be for me.
Because
you tell
it's
me it's
supposed to be
mine.
for you. Well, it is. If that person has made a commitment to you, then it ought to be yours, and it should not be given to anyone else.
It should not.
Right.
Okay, I agree.
Yes.
Totally,
It should.
totally
It should
agree with
not.
you.
And so once that happens, then trust is broken, your heart is broken, and that person you cannot really see that person the same light you saw them before. But I think too, you know, I was in a conversation today, and I was talking to someone, and they said it depends. It depends. And I think for me, and I said, you know, I feel the same way. Number one, it depends on how did you find out about it? How did I find out about it? You know,
Most
because
definitely. That
I
matters.
did it does.
It
And I
matters.
looked at the statistics too, and it said, and the statistics were showing that relationships where the infidelity was revealed by the person committing it, they can come back from it faster than persons who were actually found out, or persons who try to still be in the relationship, in the unfaithful relationship at the same time, and trying to hold on to their other relationships.
You say you come
know,
crying.
so-
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. I sorry. I did this to you. Yeah. No, you're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught.
Caught.
So that's the only reason why you probably apologizing and crying now. For a lot of them, they only stop and apologize and want to now do better because they
they're
got
found
caught. But they would have continued on until that relationship fizzled out.
And I wonder though, what are the stats on persons who are in an who have been unfaithful, who come and confess without being found out?
Oh wow.
I don't know if I've ever heard a story. And you know, I had a thought too that, you know, we talk about can relationships survive infidelity? And I'm thinking a lot of relationships are surviving infidelity. People just don't know.
But that don't count then, because if they don't know, it don't count. So, but that's true. Can relationships survive honesty? So let's say I made a mistake. You know, I stepped out. I don't want to continue in that unfaithfulness, but I want to come clean. But I don't know if my spouse could handle the honesty.
It's
Or I
not
shouldn't
your
say handle
decision to
my
make.
honesty. I don't know if I want the response she may give me. I don't know if I can handle the response she should give me. She would give me, I should say. Because I'm coming clean. I want to come clean, but I also want to keep my marriage.
Yeah, because you're selfish.
Right.
So then, and your entire thought process is selfish.
Definitely.
Because you thinking about the fact that how she's gonna handle it, you want to make sure that you don't come out clean.
Right.
You
right.
know, and I think whether the person admits it to the spouse or not, the damage is still the same. It only affects the healing process.
Right.
So if you come out and say yes, you were unfaithful, I'm still just as hurt. The trust is still broken just as much. But the forgiving and the healing process will be better because you'll be in a different place. You know, you'll be in a different place. You admit it, and the fact that someone who admits or reveals it to their spouse, I think that's a person who's willing to stop.
Right.
Because if you weren't, no one found you out. If you
Right.
were not willing, then you could have continued without the other person finding out. But
Do you believe, and this is related to the topic, right? But do you believe in marriage, do you believe that if a spouse cheats, once they've stopped, they've gone to God for forgiveness, do they have to confess to their spouse?
yes,
Okay. We on the same
of
page.
course.
We on the same page.
You have sinned before God, but you sinned to me as well. You've
given away
broken a
something.
vow. It's something that belongs to me.
That's
You've
right.
broken a vow.
But what if the
And
person
you've
doesn't
hurt
know
me.
and they'll never find out?
You still have an obligation
To tell them?
Yes.
To tell them that I was unfaithful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you still do.
That's for us
still
who
do.
saved, though. The people of the world believe they... See,
What you don't know won't hurt you.
yeah, at one time, now I didn't hear the pastor himself say this, but it came from a reliable source. The pastor said, as long as you go on to God and you've begged forgiveness and you're remorseful and you won't do it anymore, you don't have to go to your spouse. And I was like,
He's a liar.
ain't no way I could sit in no church was saying that. That's foolishness. That's
Yes.
utter garbage. Now I can hear people of the world saying that, right?
Right.
But not somebody who follows in Christ.
Right.
Because God said, if you wrong a brother, that is a brother now, this even your spouse, leave your gift at the altar,
Yes.
go to that brother,
Right.
fix that, and then come back to him. So how much more would that pertain to spouses?
Exactly.
And then you made a vow to God, to your spouse,
Right.
vertically and horizontally, that you will be faithful. So now you broke.
Matter of
trust
fact, you
with-
should go to everybody who's at the wedding.
Now you're running out.
Yes.
You're running out.
Every
You're
wedding
running out.
I've
Well,
been
it might have
to,
been somebody
yes.
who's at the wedding you was cheating with, so they.
Oh, for God's sake.
Since you won't go there. So you broke the contract both ways.
Yes,
So
so
you can't just
definitely-
go before God and say. And
agree.
One thing that always kept me. I ain't bring it down personal because I always like to talk my own business. I ain't talking nobody business. I talk my own business.
Yes.
Something that always kept me faithful. I got too much pride or too much. I view myself too high to see me having to go to my spouse
To say.
to say I cheat on you. Because for fear of losing
Right.
my relationship.
What, do you think anyone does that?
They should, but I don't know.
I
We
don't
saying they
know
should, but
any-
does
exactly.
anybody ever do it?
I've never heard of that.
But that's what
I've
kept
heard
me.
of many people who got found out, but I've never heard of someone going. I've heard of people who would have confessed, who have admitted once there was no other way out. And
Right.
even some people, you catch them on top of the person and they can still find a way
It
to tell
wasn't
you
me.
that it wasn't
It
them.
wasn't me. You
But
touch
but
me and let me know.
but I've never heard of people who will willingly go before they're found out and say
right.
that
I
listen,
don't-
I
I
am
don't
being
know if I
unfaithful,
heard any of those
it's killing
stories.
me, and I just want to stop it.
And like I said, in order to be right with God,
Right.
I have to go and confess. And that's what kept me, because I can't see me doing that, right? Boy, I don't know. So that's kept me, because I want to be right with God, because I want to see God.
Absolutely.
And be not just see him, because all of us can see him now, but I want him to say, welcome in.
Right.
So I don't want something like that. Keep
To-
me from
to keep
entering
you,
his
yes.
kingdom, right? So that's one thing what kept me faithful.
That's
Right?
good.
Now-
Amen, Jason. One in
Yeah.
a million.
No, there's many others out there. No, don't try that.
well, I don't
there's
know.
many faithful out there.
Call names.
I ain't calling nobody name, because then again, you got to
So-
say, you got to hear their stories, right? And I tell you, I don't talk people business other than my own.
Right.
So, but is there coming back after infidelity? Because we
I
talk
think
about
so.
it happening. And I think it
Yeah.
is. I think it is.
I think so, definitely. And well, we do have to take a commercial break, so I'll stick a
Stick a
pin
pin,
there,
stick a pin.
and we'll be right back.
Stick around, guys.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat,
And I'm your boy Mix.
and we're representing Off the Bench, the #1 talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So
Yeah.
we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in. That's every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6 o'clock p.m. Sharp.
The #1 talk show
In the world.
in the world.
Craig.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. And today our topic is, can a relationship survive infidelity? And we're going to jump straight into comments, and then we'll come back to Cheryl's thoughts. Calvin Dean says, to survive infidelity, one would need a change of heart, as that where the forgiveness would come from. Agreed.
Yes.
Terrence says, infidelity starts when a spouse is lacking something in the relationship. I could agree to that, but I don't think that's all where it starts from. Because some people are just greedy. Some people are just greedy.
Right.
And some people are just cheaters by nature, and they think they,
Right.
hold on, we said we were not going to do this. We can get the comments out of the way. Then we'll add our 2 cents
No, I
afterwards.
mean, you might not remember, like last week.
Yeah.
I didn't remember, so it's fine to comment on. We'll still get to all
Yeah,
those
we can get to the
comments.
comments. But yes, I agree, but I don't think that's the entirety of it.
No,
Some
I don't
infidelity
agree.
starts because the partner would have been lobbying for whatever it is, voicing their complaints, saying, "Hey, I don't like this. Would you please try it this way?" And they've tried every and each way to reach out to their spouse to try to make it work. But the spouse is just stubborn,
Right.
pig-headed, and they ain't changing for nobody. I's mine, and ain't nobody can tell me what to do.
Right.
Or I's my own woman. What you thinking? You think I is? So they remain stubborn. So the spouse now says, "All right, let me look elsewhere."
Right, but
You know?
infidelity is never the answer.
No, it isn't.
It's
It
never
isn't.
the answer. But and in a lot of relationships, one or both persons are living in a situation, in a compromise where they're living without something. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody should be in a
Is it
relationship
compromise?
where there's something that they need and they can't get it from the other person in the relationship. Now that could lead to unhappiness, and that's where you find that happiness outside. But regardless of whatever the reason is, I don't think infidelity is the answer. There's counseling, there are other avenues. But and if you're not getting along and you have to go and find someone, I think you should find a way to end the relationship.
Yes, but in marriages it isn't that simple now, Cheryl.
It is. That's why there's
It's
counseling.
it's very
There's-
complicated
yes.
because you have children, you have investments, you have the home and
So
everything.
are you lobbying for infidelity?
No.
Just
What I'm
wanna make
saying
that
is,
sure-
you say
clear.
just end it. So
No,
that's
in
a
some-
long process, and sometimes what they say is cheaper to keep her. You know why?
No, but
you
I
heard
say
that, right?
if you have to
To
go
cheat?
out there, if you feel you have to, there's no way you can get what you need from this person, then you need to end it.
We'll come back to that. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Let's Talk. You are live. What says ye? Can a relationship survive infidelity?
My lord, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I do think so. I sort of disagree with their comment, the last comment that you guys were commenting on in terms of a spouse lacking something. The reason why is because, one, there are some wonderful women out there, godly women out there, okay, that is faithful, that do everything that is required, and their husband can't necessarily find any fault, but they still go and do it. And vice versa, in terms of there's some good, decent men out there that a female does not need anything. And so when you say lacking, we're talking about imperfection. And so therefore we all lacking.
That's
We
right.
will always be found lacking. So lacking cannot necessarily be a cause. It would be unjust for us to say that. We do what we want to do simply because we want to do it. And whatever drives us, because as soon as we put that caveat in there to point to someone else, okay, I think we just throw everything out of the window. So that means there's no responsibility for that particular individual that is participating in infidelity. It cannot be because of their spouse is lacking. That cannot be an argument nor a reason. Because think about it, there are some people that really have challenges in their marriage, but they're still faithful. Okay, and so they made up their mind in order to be faithful. And the truth of the matter is all of us is lacking. All of us fall short. Okay, in whatever area that may be. And so it absolutely cannot be an excuse for you to blame your sin on someone else. That's just crazy. You know, it's almost like you saying, well, you caused me to kill him. You caused me to go thief. You caused me to go rob. Ain't nobody could cause you to do anything.
That's right. Agreed. Thank you so much, caller.
Yes, thank you.
so much, caller.
But I need to clarify that though. By lacking, I mean like if the relationship, not persons that are lacking something, the relationship are lacking things to sustain itself. For example, a spouse is withholding sex. A spouse is withholding affection. These are
Right.
things that the relationship needs to survive. And these are real issues. And like I said before, there's no reason for infidelity. But if the relationship is lacking something it needs to survive, then counseling must happen.
Definitely.
Yes.
We have a caller again. Caller, you are live.
Yes, I needed to hear what her response was.
I apologize for that, caller.
Oh, yes. I was saying, I just wanted to clarify when I said lacking, I didn't mean that individuals were lacking anything in particular. I meant the relationship was lacking something it needs to survive. And I drew the example by saying maybe one of the partners may be withholding intimacy or affection. And that's something that the relationship itself needs to survive. And while there is never a reason for infidelity, that's a necessity for counseling, because for the relationship to survive, then partners must be getting what they need in the relationship, whether individually or together.
Well, I would have to disagree with that as well, simply because of this particular point. There are men and women that may have challenges. Okay, what if you were my wife and you were in an accident and you now paralyzed?
Well, I'm not withholding, so that's different.
But the point is you it might be psychological, and it might be some trauma, and so you feel certain way or feel violated, and it may not have always been the case, and it might just show its head up 5 years, 10 years inside the marriage. And I mean, the point is, as long as we give an excuse, we would always continue to have divorce and challenges in our marriage. And not that there isn't, okay? But whatever it is cannot be an excuse for us to do, because that's what the marriage is all about. You went into an imperfect person, okay? And so the union is only as perfect as we can make it, and we honestly can. And so there cannot be an out, regardless. It's simply that cannot.
Counseling is not an out, though. I'm suggesting, counseling is not an out. If there are issues, there are real issues in relationships. If we're being honest, relationships have issues. They're made up of people, and sometimes the issues come about after you're together. So there may be reasons that both couples may need counseling.
No. But see, my point was not in terms of counseling. I totally agree.
Right.
And when people ask me, how often people should go to counseling, I tell them every single day. And people open up their eyes.
Yes, preventative, not after.
Yeah, but not only that, we are doing it subconsciously. In fact, what you guys are doing now, whether you believe it or not, is counseling. What is that? You're trying to listen to a problem or create a problem or scenario and find a solution.
Yes, agreed.
And so that's what we should be doing every single day.
Absolutely.
But we think counseling is you sitting down in a white chair in front of somebody spilling your business. When as soon as you pick up that phone and say, "Girl, listen, this is what happened," or "Jason, man, you don't know what just happened to me today." People don't understand. That's counseling.
True.
Yes.
Okay? It may not be in that professional sense, but that's exactly what it is. And so what I said before, I totally agree with counseling. You won't find a bigger proponent of it.
Okay,
All
so
right.
what if, caller, let me engage you for a second. So you said there's no out, and I agree with you, right? But then I know we're straying from infidelity, but then, that sometimes there has to be an out for your own safety, your own personal, physical well-being. No one should endure abuse.
Yeah.
And abuse comes in many forms.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not advocating for divorce because I don't really want it. But then sometimes it's kind of necessary because two aren't equally yoked. And if you have somebody who believes something totally different from yours and they just believe. Let's say, for instance, I believe I should have as much women as I want, and I can sleep with as much women as I want, but my wife can't. And if she tries it, I'm now physically abusive, or verbally abusive, or even financially or emotionally abusive to her. She shouldn't have to stay there because we're married or because we gave a vow.
Yes. Let me clarify when I said there should not. In terms of us blaming our spouse for whatever imperfection that they may have. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Not in terms of, you are in an abusive relationship. And you're absolutely correct. That comes in many shapes and form. And so that was not my point. And definitely I think, we should try to work through those issues or seek professional help to try to get over those hurdles.
Yes, I just wanted to add that there because I knew where you were coming from, but just for the benefit of our listeners, that they don't feel that you're saying, they should stay or for whatever reason. So I just wanted to add that. But I agree with you. Me and you on the same page.
Yeah. And one of the other things, what you all started with is in terms of love. And one of the things that I always say, you should never try to put love inside, or that should never be a reason for one to get married.
I agree.
And that's what happens so many times because love is fleeting.
Yes.
And love is not static. It's not constant. It changes. Okay? And so therefore you hanging your whole future and life on something that is changing. And that's why, and look at how much time we read in the Bible where we say God does not change. He is the same. Okay? And all these kind of stuff. Because in order for you to hold on to something, it has to be constant.
Yes.
And so we definitely have to dispel that myth in terms of love and marriage.
Yes.
Well said, yes.
Well said, like Cheryl said. Well said. Thank you so much,
All right.
caller.
My
Thank
pleasure.
You for that
Thank
meet.
you. Thank you.
Welcome to call at any time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You
So
some more comments?
that was some meat we had
Yes.
just now. So I guess
Very
we could go
good
back to
stuff.
some more comments, Mr. Brucer. I have a comment here. It says, if the person that did the cheating truly repents and commit to discontinuing the outside relationship and seeks counseling, also if the person that was cheated on is willing to truly forgive the other person and seeks counseling, and you hear the key word there was counseling. Counseling. You must get that outside help. You cannot fix that damage you have done on your
Without-
own.
right.
You need that outside help. So
Priska says there is no comeback from infidelity. Yeah. Nah, the confess comes after they're caught. Okay.
Priska, man, where's the love, Priska? Where's the forgiveness?
He says, no way, nope. J. John says the relationship can survive, but it will forever change.
Yes, I agree to that.
And I agree. I also have a comment here. It says the only way the couples can survive infidelity is if the cheating spouse ends it on their own and carries on without the other spouse knowing about it. So
Wow.
this person is saying they must end it and don't tell the other person.
Wow. So, I
Wow.
mean, like you
Say
said,
if-
some people might be surviving infidelity and don't even know it.
And not know it, exactly. If infidelity is discovered, the person is still saying, or busted, there's no way that the relationship is going to survive. No way whatsoever.
Nah, I disagree.
And then at the end, he says, because women just need to learn to stop cheating.
Woo!
I think.
Okay, shot
I
fired
think
at
that
the
was
females.
that was just put in there just to annoy me.
Oh, wow.
J. John says, though, it doesn't matter what is lacking. It takes communication with give and take to work things out. I agree 100%.
Agreed,
Yes.
agreed. Priska says more women forgive men for
boy.
cheating than men who forgive women who cheat.
Oh boy, Prisca, we weren't. Please don't
Listen,
taunt Jason. We
listen,
weren't gonna
we
have
trying
the
to get
men and
away
women
from
thing.
that gender thing,
But
right?
But though, Jason, if I must jump on Prisca's bandwagon, when I asked men about that, they said no way. They say no way because they're saying men are mental and the only thing they're thinking about is their woman with that man. And I think for us women, it will be a little different. I think women are it's easy. I wouldn't say, I'm sure easier is right
I know what you mean.
word
It's easier.
for us to
Easier than us.
forgive, right? Easier than you. because for a man, his wife is sacred. You know, that he doesn't want to share. You know, so it definitely is a little different. Priska also says no relationship can provide 100% of your needs all the time. This goes both ways.
Honestly, for real. Jay John says you have to start from foundation. People get into a lifetime commitment without understanding the full obligations. That is so true. They want the wedding, but they ain't prepared for the marriage. You know, that they're prepared for that one day, but they didn't look out the whole future and what all it entails. Jay John says we confuse infatuation with love and get married. Amen. Laurel says 100%.
She's agreeing with
She's
Priska.
agreeing with Priska. Listen, I don't know which part of Priska's statement she was agreeing with.
The no comeback
Man
aspect.
and no comeback.
Maybe.
I really, that's not true. That's not true.
It's
For the
their
people of this
opinion, and
world,
that's how they feel.
No, I mean, so that's why I'm speaking my opinion.
Right.
Right? I didn't say she's wrong.
You said that's not
okay. That's
true.
not true. Okay, that's not true for me. Because she says she's making a truth claim from her perspective, and I'm making a truth claim from my perspective.
It's no truth claim. It's just opinions.
Whatever. That's a truth claim for her. She said 100%, right? She didn't leave no wiggle room there.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, when we take this, after this commercial break, I hope I remember my
please.
thought. After this commercial break, we'll be right back, and I go on my soapbox.
I hope you forget the thought.
I'm Flynn Doxson from Nose Witness News, reporting live from Sniper Paintball City. We're here with the manager, and he's going to tell us a little about what they have to offer.
Daddy, I got this at Sniper Paintball. We have paintball, cornhole, mini golf, batting cage.
Strike!
That's not a strike.
So come on down every Saturday and Sunday to Sniper Paintball City, located next to Crosstown, where you and the family can have a great time.
See you at Sniper.
So we're back, and I'm trying to recall because Cheryl was doing all she could to distract me from my point that I wanted to make. But my point is this. There has to be a comeback. Because, like she said, nobody can fulfill anybody's 100%, right? So somebody can be lacking at some point. So whereas not being able to cook the meal I want compared to cheating on me is different, there's still some wiggle room you have to be able to give and take. Now,
Right.
so
I think she's clarifying there. She says the one that states women are more forgiving than men. That's the
oh, that's
comment
what she's
agreeing.
saying. Okay,
she's
okay.
agreeing with 100%.
And I want to jump on that too.
oh boy.
The reason why men sometimes aren't as quick to forgive as women is because, you know, and everybody say it all the time, men are visual.
Right.
Men can disconnect. He could just go and sleep with a woman and have no feelings for her. I mean, no, she just look good and she free up, boom, that's it. He don't have to have no more contact with her.
Right.
Whereas a woman, she isn't as loose as most men, right? Generally, because this breed of woman today, I don't know.
Just continue, please.
So-
What you were
so-
saying, 'cause
So for a woman to actually open herself up to a man, she
you're saying
opens up
she's
her whole
emotionally
self to
involved.
him, which means her feelings now gets involved.
Involved, right.
So when a man does it, it's no feelings. His heart belongs to the woman, whereas his body might have gone somewhere else, his body's straight. But from when somebody gives their heart to somebody else, boy, it's hard for that person to come back. It's truly hard. So that's why it's sometimes harder for men to accept their spouse cheating, accept them back. And then again, when you come down to the whole aspect, women are receivers,
Yeah, I figured that was
you know?
coming up.
But no, that's the truth. And we ain't got to sugarcoat it. Women receive, men give. So most of the time when he leave whatever he give her. She taking whatever she got, and she's taking that back with him. So
I
It's-
understand you're
it's-
saying the giving and receiving part, but both bodies are sacred. And
I'm not discounting that.
I think that's what gives some men an out mentally
No.
because they feel that the woman's body is so sacred and their body they could just throw it all about the place.
And because it was never, and this can stray off, because men were never taught from youth that their bodies are
Body is,
sacred either.
Right, that's true.
So it comes from home. You know, everything stems from home. We always telling our daughters, oh, protect your virginity, keep yourself sacred, you know, save yourself for marriage, you know, that's a flower, and you know, save it for the wedding night and all this stuff.
Right.
But for the men, we encouraging them to go there and sleep around, and we giving them fathers giving their son high five. Sometimes fathers taking their sons out to bust, to lose their virginity. So that's why men don't really view themselves as that much valuable, and we need to change that. But back to the infidelity thing, there is coming back from. I should save that for my wrap up. But anyway, you can come back. You can come back from it, and it depends on both parties. The one who's cheated on has to have a forgiving heart, but the one who actually did the offense, they have to do all in their power to convince their spouse.
And let's just clarify too, though, Jason, because you can forgive and still not be with the person. The fact that
That's right.
If you leave the relationship, it doesn't mean that you have not forgiven the person.
That's correct.
You know, so forgiving and taking someone's back, that's two separate things.
Two separate things. You can love them from afar.
Absolutely.
You love them from afar because you don't have to stay there with that for that abuse. Because
but
you
we
forgive
have
the
to
person.
be open. I think, especially those of us who call ourselves Christians, we have to be open to forgive and to have an open heart to the person and allow the person to prove themselves to you again. And of course, that will take time, because a lot of times, though, when we wrong people, we want to tell them how long
we don't put a time limit on
it for them to heal. And we want to tell them how to respond and everything. And when the person, because there are times when there are continued triggers after you have been unfaithful.
That's right.
And you have to understand, every time you are out late, she knows in the past when you were out late what you were doing. So if you're out late now, call and say, this is what I'm doing, because you are obligated. Probation. Yes. You're obligated until she feels better, or he feels. You see, Jason?
No. I got to fix that, because you all then start this foolishness.
I was about
but
to
men,
say it.
no.
You
Your default,
on edge. You need to just
default
calm
should
down.
have been
breathe,
they,
Jason,
rather
breathe.
than he or she. Because
I
know you couldn't help yourself. You and Priska started, and you
As
couldn't
I
help.
was
You
saying,
go right there and join that bandwagon.
When you're done your rant, I'll finish my sentence. As I was saying, yes. So you have to give the person, he or she, time to heal, and however long that takes. Now, a lot of times, the person who's the villain becomes frustrated because they almost feel like they're the victim, because the person is not healing as fast as they expect, or the person has so much expectations.
And the other side of that, some people keep the person around to punish them, so they may be the victim.
Well,
I'm telling you,
that.
I'll keep him or I'll keep her just to make her pay for what she did. I've heard it.
Well, that's not.
I've
that's
heard
not
it.
Somebody
I can make him feel what I feel.
And that's why I feel too that it's important that even if there's a comeback, you should get counseling.
Definitely.
I don't think that's something you should work out on your own.
You mentioned Christian, right? And we aren't open to forgiveness. We are commanded to.
Absolutely.
We are commanded, so it's beyond being open for it.
No, but
and
after I'm saying open to take taking the person
if
back
the
after.
person is willing to stay and fix what they've done, you are commanded to give them a chance to fix it, like you said. So you don't come, but we quote the scripture. Moses gave them a certificate of divorce. Permitted them to divorce for infidelity. No, Jesus came back and said why that was so, but it was also gave us a command. If the person who offended you wants to fix it, you have to fix it. You have to fix it. As a believer, you have to fix it. So we don't get that out like the people of the world. We don't get that quick out, that easy out. But infidelity brings on so many other things into that relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's so hard for some people to move beyond it. And we have to, a lot of us are unforgiving. A lot of us haven't been taught how to forgive.
Right.
So we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to lash out and act out. So when we are wrong, we want vengeance.
A lot of us don't know how to heal either.
Right. So here comes, and that's part of forgiving. That is a process. You know, the process of forgiving is first acknowledging that you want to forgive the person. And then you start working towards the forgiving. Not because you say, I forgive you, that means it starts. No, forgiving is a daily, it's sometimes a minute by minute process to forgive that person. You have to actively pursue forgiveness because the infidelity will be playing over in your head so much, and then our minds are so warped.
Right.
We start seeing things that aren't there. We start imagining what probably transpired, and that sends us over the top, you know. And now we don't give the relationship chance to heal. So that's why I see why Priska says there's no coming back from it.
It's not because it's hard.
It's coming back. That's
hard.
from a person who doesn't know how to forgive. There's no coming back. But if you know how to forgive, or if you want to forgive, there's coming back from it. Now, the thing is this. You're going to want forgiveness. So it's cheaper you learn how to offer it.
I agree. But I think too, a lot of times people who say there's no comeback, sometimes we are people who say, okay, we know we're not gonna do that, and we are not gonna be in a position to seek forgiveness for that.
Right.
So it's easy for us to say, okay, there's no coming back. I'm not going to forgive. Now, walking away is easy.
Very easy.
But forgiving someone after they have been unfaithful is very, very hard. And like you say, you have to be willing to put in the work, and it's going to be something that it's going to be a serious process, because every time that person does something, you're going to be triggered.
Trigger
and
warning.
you have to make yourself available to forgive every time there's a trigger, every time there's a memory. Every time he says something or does something that looks like it's mirroring what you're feeling as it relates to the unfaithfulness, you have to forgive all over again. And sometimes the person doesn't come off remorseful, because in our mind, we have an expectation as to what you're supposed to be looking like, acting like, saying at all times, because you're wrong.
So we have our standard or our metrics, and we're putting them on there,
And so
holding them to it.
We're holding, yes.
And sometimes that's unrealistic, because like you said, you mentioned,
we
I know I ain't gonna ever cheat, so
Right.
I'm not expecting you to cheat. And I mean, in marriage, that's a good expectation, because
It should be the expectation.
you said you're not gonna do it, so I'm supposed to believe you, right? So
of
I'm
course.
believing you that you won't cheat. So, but if you happen to do it, you also now have to be prepared to do the work, because, like you said, you can't go to the person, well, I bought the flowers, or I cooking him his nice meal, I wearing him this now, I'm giving him access to my phone,
What else
I'm
do you
telling her, I draw him blood and all this stuff. What else you want me to do? No, you gotta be humble and just allow that person. Now, don't be nobody whipping stone. Like I say, some people just want you there to step on you and whip you, right? But if the person, you can generally see the person is struggling, trying to get beyond it, then, hey, it's your job to work to get that person out of that pit you put them in. You remember now? You put them there now. You put them there, so now you have to do the work to get them out. So, but again, this comes from a forgiving heart. This comes from somebody who wants to be forgiven. The person has to want to be forgiven, and you have to be a forgiving person.
Yes.
Now we too cold, and you said it's easy to walk away. Mind you, you may think it's walk away. Physically, it's easy to walk away, but mentally, you still carrying that person with you. So when you go into your next relationship, and that person, he or she does something that reminded you of when that person cheated on you, you go open right up on her, open up on him, because you didn't take the time
of trust.
Right, you didn't take the time to heal or to forgive that person, or just work beyond the infidelity that happened.
Yeah.
So walking away ain't easy. Physically is easy, but mentally, you still there. And that's why a lot of people out there saying now they can't forgive for infidelity, because they still carrying back from when they were cheated on.
It happened.
They ain't healed yet from that person who cheated on them. So guys, we got to take another quick commercial break, and we'll jump right back to your comments on our return.
You asked and I delivered. Island-ish is back. The podcast you guys have known to love, to like to call in, to like to interact with. We are officially back. For the ones that don't know me, this is your girl Yams. Hear me on Mix 102.1 FM or your favorite TGF_Yams. With the 2 S's, we're back with Island-ish right here on Superior Talk. So make sure you're following the page. We're going live this Thursday, 6 p.m. Don't miss it. Follow us. It's about to get lit.
Bring us in.
Excuse me. I started reading Priska's comment. That's why I choked.
Oh,
Welcome back. We're back. And we're still talking about can a relationship survive infidelity? And here comes Priska. Nah, Cheryl. This Christianity thing holds too many people in bondage for too long. Oh, boy.
ooh. And now, Prisco, you saying bondage? You hear how you move? That Christianity bondage. That ain't coming off too good. I think I know where you're trying to go, but
I think she's saying because we're Christians, we're obligated to act a certain way and do a certain thing. And
that's,
at the
that's
end
what
of
God
the day,
called us to do.
that's what we have to do.
Christ
And-
called us to
and-
do that.
Yes.
And she's viewing that as bondage.
We're bound to do it. So
We bondage to somebody. Either you're
if that is
bound to Satan
or you're
to
bound
Christ.
to, yes.
So we're
And
in
I think
bondage.
this has better benefits, huh, Jason?
That's right.
Definitely.
That's right, most definitely. Below it says a person that is guilty of infidelity will forever be on probation.
They will feel
have
like
a
they're on
long
probation because
probation.
they're guilty,
Yeah.
but
I mean, can you blame the person who cheated on us? Because here I am naked before you. I mean, I be vulnerable before you in all aspects of the word. So I trust you with my life. And you go there and betray me. I expect that from the world, but I don't expect that from you. So
yes.
you can be on
absolutely.
probation for a long time until I feel secure.
Until you feel, yes,
Till I feel secure. And you got to do whatever you got to do to secure me.
to make you feel that way. Yeah.
Because you kill my trust.
I
So you
hate
have
to
to
bring
build
the
it back.
gender up, but I think it'll be harder for women.
Too.
In that case, a woman who is unfaithful
Oh, yes.
to get the man's trust back.
Because men take long to trust.
Men take longer to rebuild. Yes.
Yes,
Once
'cause it
you
take
lose a guy's trust,
That's
it's
it.
really,
Because we
really
take
hard.
very long to give that to you.
Yes.
So when you see
Exactly.
us break down and say, let me give this to you, and you throw that out, okay.
Yes.
You ain't ready for this.
I agree. You want to read this one, Jason?
Godfrey says, relationships can only survive infidelity if the other partner believes that they are the cause of the cheating.
Oh, wow.
He ain't lie there because some people
It
say,
has a
I cheat
point.
because of you.
Yes.
You caused me going on there.
But-
If you was giving me this, if you was doing this for me, if you was paying me this.
And
if
some
you
females believe that.
Yes, I cheat because you wasn't
Yes.
telling me all the right stuff. You didn't tell
No,
me how
and-
nice I look. You didn't carry me out
Yes.
when you didn't, you didn't take me out on dates.
Yes.
And then fellas will say, I cheat because you ain't freeing up.
Yes. and a lot of times the females are guilty, and so they actually believe and feels responsible and takes the guy back. So
Yeah.
it might sound a little off what he's saying or nonsensical, but it is so
It's true. It is true.
Yes.
Because how will we ever fix this if you saying I'm to blame? That means
Yeah.
next time when you think I was to blame, you can cheat again.
No, she can make sure that he doesn't have a
No,
reason.
what
She's
I'm saying
gonna
is the
try.
person who cheat. Like,
I
right,
get you, yes.
You get me what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, if you're saying it's the other person's fault, that means you always prone to cheat.
Absolutely.
You always prone
Yes.
to cheat. You buck your toe today, or you cost me buck my toe, I going to cheat.
Yeah.
So no.
Laura says the relationship will never be the same even if the parties stay together. I agree.
It won't be the same. I agree, but it
Just
can be
even after
better.
the-
It can be stronger.
Stronger.
It can be stronger.
After a while.
I've heard it
maybe.
got stronger. I've never experienced it, but I've heard they got stronger because they realized what they did. See,
they
sometimes
had.
the spouse, one spouse took the other spouse for granted, went out and cheat, and then at the risk of losing their spouse, and they see, oh shoot, I could actually lose my spouse.
Right.
Now they're ready to give a whole 100%. So now the fella becomes
Sure you're
sensitive.
not talking about a movie? I watched that movie too.
Now the fella becomes sensitive. He starts paying attention to his wife. He starts dating her again.
Yes.
Or she starts now treating him like the king because
Yes.
she was at risk of losing him. So
yes.
now and then after a while he actually or she responds to it and because they don't want to get put in that position before, they don't risk that anytime. So anytime an argument or anything comes up, they fix it quickly because they don't want to go back there. So it has the potential to be better.
Priska says, if I ever take someone back after for cheating, it'll be cheaper they leave because I'm going to require a lot to have peace of mind, and most people aren't truly willing to do. Mr. Producer, help me out a bit.
The time I know, yeah, right?
Yes,
yeah.
willing to do whatever it takes. I agree.
Prisco, and Prisco is one of them, like, what I say? They better watch it because they can beat you. They keep
No.
you around. They keep you around to beat you.
No, I don't.
I know she didn't say that. She's saying that. She's saying
I
that.
understand. I understand what she's saying because,
saying it
and
could be
I
a
think
lot
that's
to
for
get about.
everybody.
It
I
can
think
be a
that's
lot to get
everybody.
about.
Yes,
It can be a lot to get about.
And I think too that if you were stupid enough to cheat, I think, and if the person is willing to take you back to keep you, I think you should do whatever it takes.
So what if you contributed, not to them cheating, but you contributed to them wanting to cheat? Because you can't make
boy.
anybody cheat.
Let's go back to what the good gentleman said
No,
earlier.
what I'm saying
that
is if I'm non-existent, right? And my wife is home all the time, she's vying for my affection, and I totally ignore her, and I'm verbally abusive to her, and I push her away, right? She shouldn't cheat. I understand that. She shouldn't cheat. She should end the marriage or separate. But what if she cheats? And I now realize, yes, she shouldn't have cheated, but I know I contributed to it. Shouldn't I be little less?
You still had a choice.
Yes,
It was a choice
yes.
to say, okay, baby, it's time for us to get counseling. I'm not
Yes.
feeling like this.
And I say I'm not into counseling.
If you're not, if
I'm
you're
not into counseling. No man can tell me what to do. I's my own man. You want counseling? You go get counseling yourself. I happy? You ain't happy? Then that sound like a you problem.
Well, that sounds like somebody who's not going to take somebody back after cheating, to be quite honest. But if you feel, I mean, like we talked about earlier, there are times when the person feels like they're partially responsible for it, and they are a little more, they're way more forgiving than the person who felt like they're really doing everything that they needed to do, they're required to do in the relationship, and they thought that everything was fine. And the person still cheated. So it's a little different. And that's why in a lot of cases, it's a case-by-case basis
Yes.
because, in all reality, we can sit here and talk till the cows come home about what
Yes.
we would do and what. And until
Boy,
we're
till
in
that
that
day come.
situation and we are moved that way, then that's when you really can tell what will happen.
No man or woman, for that matter, know what they can do until they
Until
faced
they're
with that
in-
situation.
yes.
Because you hear a big man say, boy, if I catch my woman doing this, boy, what I can do and this and that. And I hear the story, the fella say, he come and meet, he heard the noises, and he ain't had the strength to move the curtain aside. Says the curtain only weighed but less than a pound, and he could not move that curtain to look inside because he was so scared.
my
His
God.
belly was breaking down. So until you get in a
That-
position, you
yes.
don't know what you can do. And let's say, let me read Bilord comment first. Bilord says, what Priscus is saying is fair.
Yes.
So, but I know I have a good woman. I know but I taking her for granted. And I just doing me and I too busy working or whatever. I just neglecting her and I know I have a good woman and for some reason she steps out.
Right.
Now, I can't play the fool and say, oh, well, she do that, that's all on her. She wrong for actually doing it, but I put her out there. Now, I should, if she's remorseful, and she's not saying, you caused me go there and do this. If she's taking responsibility for what she's
Exactly.
done, then it's on me. Because I know I
Absolutely.
contributed to it to now see how we could fix this.
Right,
And
and that's
however
it.
long it takes to
Exactly.
fix, we got to fix it. And that means counseling.
And
Definitely need
I
counseling.
think, Jason, that the other person would be more prone to wanting to fix it if the finger is not pointed at them.
Right.
And I think persons who are unfaithful, the first thing you must do is be honest, take responsibility
Yes.
for what you did it.
Yes.
Regardless of the reasons.
Whatever
you
the reason
did
is,
it.
'cause you didn't have to
did
cheat.
it. So exactly.
You could have left.
You could have left.
You could have left.
You could have sought help.
Yeah.
You could have said, be upfront, be honest, say, sometimes I feel like cheating because of whatever.
And guess what? In all
But
honesty,
the sad thing is a lot of I use the word happy loosely, but a lot of people who are fine in relationships cheat. The other person is not doing anything.
right.
And they
That's
just feel
greedy.
like they're just greedy.
Greedy and
There's
selfish.
another option and
Yeah.
they just feel like they
That's
should
it.
take
They're
it.
cheating because they can.
Because they can.
That's all it is. They don't
Because
have
you
a
have
reason.
other lousy people out there loose
enough
like a
to
goose
cheat-
and just
cheat with
be
you.
an option.
That's
and so
right.
they have that option.
Yes, because, like you said, there's never a reason to cheat. Because you
No.
could have left, and nobody cheats by mistake.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. That's
From
a
the
whole
first
act.
text message,
That's a
the
whole
first
act you got to
glance,
go through to
the
do that.
first, it's
You
a
don't slip
choice.
and fall on that. That
No,
don't happen.
I mean,
In the movies, it
sometimes
might.
can, but yes.
Sometimes it can. Share, do expand.
It's a movie.
You watch those type of movies? They slip and fall. Okay, Cheryl. Ooh, business coming out. Slipping and falling on it. I never knew that to happen in all my days. So, Mr. Producer, I thought we had some more comments. Let's get Cheryl off the hook because she talking too much. She letting the business out. There's a very large number of folk that cheat because of outside influence as well. Yes. So-called friends making them feel there's nothing wrong with it. Yes. Listening to the wrong voices. Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yes.
Agreed. They allow the voices of the enemy to cause them to mess up that happy home. And it might even be a happy home, but it causes to put that home in further jeopardy. How does one contribute to the actions of another person's infidelity? B. Lord asks. I feel infidelity is an individual choice that is the product of selfishness and a lack of self-control. True. Cheating is always selfish.
Yes.
It's always selfish. It's never to help the marriage. No. It's never to help the spouse. Cheating is selfish. You cheat because you ain't getting something, or you feel you ain't getting something, or you feel you want something else, and you cheat to go get it yourself. Because if it wasn't, you would tell your husband or your wife, go get this for me because you ain't giving it to me. Get it for me, please, because you ain't giving it to me. Hit the like button, says Incredible Greens. Yes. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. Agreed. B. Lord says, agreed. There's never a reason or excuse to cheat. It's an individual choice.
Amen.
Definitely an individual choice.
Godfrey says if she's remorseful, then she should do better in the next relationship. Cool. She will do better in the next relationship.
Like a Prisco. Because it ain't going to be this one.
Because it ain't going to be this one.
Wow.
Then that's it for the next one. Boy, love it. But that's what you say. I can forgive you, but let you go.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to abuse me no more. I gave you everything. I made myself available to you. I was there, whatever you wanted. And I was open to counseling.
Right.
And you wasn't it, so you decided to cheat. Or you just decided not to tell me what you were going through. For whatever reason it is, because you wanted an excuse to cheat. There's so much ways to look at this.
Yes, and sometimes, Jason, someone who is unfaithful, they might want to work on the relationship, but the other person may not just be, they're willing to forgive, but they may not be unwilling to stay with the person, but they just can't.
Right.
Because unfaithfulness destroys someone.
That's scars.
It hurts.
That
It
goes
hurts
to the
people
core.
so deeply. Exactly. It could destroy your self-esteem. Some people could never come back from that, and it may affect them mentally.
Yes.
And it's hard to face the other person.
Cheryl, being the recipient of being cheated on, right? It makes you question yourself.
Yes.
I don't care how confident you are.
Absolutely.
It question yourself. Well, what about me? What wrong? What I do wrong?
Why
wasn't I
other
enough?
person?
Yeah,
Yes.
why wasn't I enough? What I
What
do
does
wrong?
she have or he have
right.
that I don't?
So it makes you question.
So,
I don't.
yes, it's very destructive.
It takes a real special person to get cheated on and not feel like something is wrong with them.
Right.
And that's why
You have to
it cuts
rebuild
to the core.
yourself
You
inside
do.
out.
You do. You do, because now you question yourself. What was I doing so wrong? Why wasn't I enough? What could I have done better?
Yes.
And then if you decide to, like you say, you decide to work on it with them, bro, that's deep, because as you mentioned before, anything they do now going forward, you can be like, hold on now, that look familiar. Last time when you was on the phone, you was on the phone with him.
Right.
You on the phone with him now? No, you won't see. And so now you don't want to turn into this detective.
Absolutely.
But just because you want to give them another chance and you want to protect your heart at the same time,
Right.
now the whole relationship is in a turmoil. But if you want the relationship to work, the offender has to go through that. Whatever it takes to now build that person back up and secure them, they have to be willing to do.
Have to be.
No excuse. No excuse.
Absolutely.
So, Cheryl, it looks like this has been another real Let's Talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic. Love
Good
the comments
feedback.
from
Love
our
the
viewers.
comments.
Yes,
Good feedback.
definitely.
This
Love
one touched-
our regular B Lord Prisca.
Yeah,
we
J.
have
John.
a new Laurel. Well, J. John is a regular. Laurel.
Yeah.
And then we had
Godfrey.
Terrence.
Terrence and
and Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Definitely.
Oh, see, I
great
wish you didn't
for your
start
comments.
calling names, because now guess what? Somebody is sure in that comment we miss.
Okay, and
And they can feel slighted. You don't call name Cheryl as a,
no, we
as
love
a what you
all
call it?
of you.
All right
Already
then,
did,
there you go.
Jason.
There you
See,
go.
they
As
wouldn't
a
have felt slighted if you
Toastmaster,
didn't just add that just
Toastmaster.
now. Oh boy, Jason, I don't know.
Those
what
who
to
to
do with you.
comment on the text on who send a personal text, I ain't gonna call your name because you didn't text it on the show, so I figure you don't want your name out there, so I ain't gonna call your name. But we appreciate all of you. We appreciate your
Yes.
feedback. We appreciate your viewing. We appreciate you sharing. So spread the
Yes.
word. Continue to spread the word. So in our wrap up,
It is my opinion that we can come back. A relationship can survive infidelity if both parties are willing to work on it. Honestly, put in the work. It's going to be challenging, but if you want to be together, you want to continue to be committed together, then put in the work, seek outside help, and seek God's help. And it is possible.
most definitely, I agree with Cheryl. Infidelity, relationships can survive it. Like again, what Cheryl said, both parties have to want it, and you cannot do it on your own. Like our caller said, Brother Dean, you have to counsel every day. Seek counsel every day, and seek wise counsel. Like
Watch
B. Lord
shows
says.
like this.
Yes, right. What shows like this? Who's trying to come up with workable and practical solutions. But like BT, like B. Lord says,
Oh boy.
be careful of the voices
Yes.
out there, because some people will definitely cause you to stray, cause you to risk what you have, and then some will actually wouldn't want you to repair what you probably destroyed, help to destroy. They help to destroy. So you may have been a recipient of an infidelity, and then you have people out there telling you, "Oh, don't accept them back." No, don't listen to those outsiders out there. If you feel your relationship is worth it, pursue it.
Yes.
But pursue it with help, and pursue it with godly counsel. Pursue it with God's help. Don't let nobody tell you what you should or should not do. Don't tell them to drop them. Don't tell them to stay with them. Don't let them tell you to stay with them. We can survive infidelity. So thank you again. This has been another real episode of Let's Talk. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Thanks, guys.
Good night.